Lesson 5, More Two-Step Equations. Real-world link, museums. A new exhibit about dinosaurs is being constructed. The exhibit is a rectangle that is 36 feet long. It has a perimeter of 114 feet. We're going to follow the steps to write an equation that can be used to find the width of the museum exhibit. So first you would want to draw a diagram to help visualize the exhibit. Then label the length and the width. Let W represent the width. So the length we know is 26 feet long. Is 36 feet long. So that's the reason why we have 36 feet and W. So we're going to write an expression that represents the sum of the length and the width of the exhibit. So that's W plus 36. Step number 2, we're going to write an expression that represents twice the sum in width. So 2 times the width plus 36. So write an equation that represents the perimeter of the exhibit. Well, we know the perimeter is going to be 2 times quantity W plus 36, and it's going to equal a total of 114. Now I know it's a total of 114 because it says the perimeter of 114 feet. So solving two-step equations, an equation like 2 times the quantity, W plus 36 equals 114, is in the form P times quantity, A plus Q equals R. It contains two factors, P and X plus Q, and is considered a two-step equation. We're going to solve these equations using the properties of equality. So example number 1. We're going to solve 3 times the quantity x plus 5 equals 45. Now you can solve it arithmetically, where you have a total distance of 45, and then it's split into 3 portions that are each x plus 5. And that's because it's saying 3 times the quantity x plus 5. So here is a bar diagram representing that. When we set this up, we have 45, we have x plus 5 equals 45 divided by 3. Because again, we are taking 45, which is our total, and dividing that by 3. That gives us 15. So x plus 5 equals 15. We're going to subtract 5 from both sides. And that's going to leave us with x equals 10. You can solve it also algebraically. When you do this, I'm going to extend my equal sign. We're going to do a method that's a little different than sampling the problem. Because there's a 3 that is multiplying a quantity, so 3 times something in the parentheses, we're actually going to go ahead and just divide both sides by 3. That leaves me with x plus 5 equals 45 divided by 3, which is 15. Then I want to subtract 5 from both sides. So x equals 10. That's my final answer. So for number 2, we're going to solve this one using the same method. You can either do method 1, where you're solving arithmetically with a bar diagram, or method 2, solving algebraically. I'm going to show the algebraic method, but please feel free to use the arithmetic method with the bar model. So 5 times quantity n minus 2 equals negative 30. Extending my equal sign, I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So n minus 2 equals 30 divided by 5 is 6. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. From here, if you want, you can make that to a negative 2. The inverse of a negative 2 is positive, so I'm going to add 2 to both sides. That leaves me with n equals negative 4. Now we're going to try A, B, and C. So I'm going to start with letter A by extending my equal sign. I am multiplying the left side by 2. So I want to divide both sides by 2. That leaves me with x plus 4 equals 10. I then want to subtract 4 from both sides, and that leaves me with x equals 6. So the answer for letter A is x equals 6. Letter B, 3 times quantity b minus 6 equals 12. I'm going to extend my equal sign, and then divide both sides by 3. b minus 6 equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. I'm going to add and make that into a negative 6. The opposite of a negative 6 is adding 6, or positive. B equals 10. All right, letter C. I'm going to extend my equal sign just like I have, and divide both sides by negative 7, because that is what I'm multiplying the left side by. This leaves me with 6 plus d equals negative 7. 49 divided by 7 is 7. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. My next step is to subtract 6 from both sides. I get d equals negative 13. Equations with rational coefficients. Sometimes the factor p in p times quantity x plus q will be a fraction or a decimal. So we're going to solve 2/3 times the quantity n plus 6 equals 10. 2/3 times the quantity n plus 6 equals 10. I'm going to start by getting my fraction to equal 1, which means I need to multiply by my reciprocal. And whatever I do to the left side of my equation, I'm going to do to the right. You will notice I extended the equal sign now. When you multiply by the reciprocal, your fraction multiplies to 1, and you're left with n plus 6. And that equals, well, on the right side, 10 times 3 is 30, divided by 2, which is 15. So n plus 6 equals 15. If you wanted to do cross-reducing, you could. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 2 divided by 2 is 1. You would still get 15. Now I want to subtract 6 from both sides, and I get n equals 9. We're going to try number 4 now. 0 and 2/10 times quantity c minus 3 equals negative 10. I'm going to extend my equal sign and start by dividing both sides by 2/10. Now it's up to you. If you feel more comfortable using a calculator, you're more than welcome to. So we have c minus 3 equals negative 50. So 10 divided by 2/10 is 50. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. Now I want to add 3 to both sides, and I get c equals negative 47. We're going to try letter D. There is a fraction, so I want to multiply by 4 divided by 1 on both sides to get the reciprocal. I'm left with d minus 3 equals, well, I'm going to take negative 15 and make it into a fraction by dividing it by 1. That'll help me with simplifying. Negative 15 times 4, well, 15 times 4 is 60. Positive divided by negative is a negative. It's negative 60 divided by 1. So d minus 3 equals negative 60. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I get d equals negative 57. Letter E. I'm going to take 75 hundredths and divide both sides by that. That leaves my right side with 6 plus d. Which equals, and I should have extended my equal sign, that equals 16. Now I'm going to subtract both sides by 6. I get D equals 10. You can absolutely check your work to make sure it's correct. Actually, let me change the color of these lines. Okay. Lastly, for letter F, I'm going to rewrite this, T plus 3. The 5/9 in the back is absolutely allowed, but I'm actually going to bring it back to the front because that's the way that I'm used to seeing it. It makes it a little bit easier. So now I'm going to multiply both sides by 9/5. So we have T plus 3 on the left side. 49 times 9 is 441 divided by 5. 441 divided by 5 is 88 and 2/10. T plus 3 equals 88 and 2/10. And I apologize, I should have extended my equal sign. I want to subtract 3 from both sides. T equals 85 and 2/10. So we're going to do one last example. We have Jamal and two cousins that received the same amount of money to go to a movie. Each boy spent $15. Afterwards, the boys had $30 altogether. Write and solve an equation to find the amount of money each boy received. So we have our total amount. We have our total amount, which is M. And we know that each boy is going to be spending $15. We also know that there are 3 people, Jamal and 2 cousins. They had $30 altogether, so that will help decide how much each of them have. So I'm going to extend my equal sign and divide both sides by 3. So M minus 15 equals 10. I'm going to add 15 to both sides. M equals 25.